Hey YouTube, Kira Qualia here, bringing you all my Shadowverse Evolve Masquerade Ghost Abysscraft deck profile. For post-Gods of the Arcana, we have the new Sincere Masquerade Ghost, the final evolution form of Masquerade Ghost for the Abysscraft Ghost Summoning deck. A very, very awesome deck that just focuses on being able to spam out a bunch of different ghost tokens and then be able to utilize those different ghosts with our main go-to boss monster, Masquerade Ghost, its evolved form, and its new advanced form, Sincere Masquerade Ghost. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and get started with the deck profile. So we'll go ahead and start off with the main deck monsters, or followers. For the followers, we're running 3 copies of Masquerade Ghost. This card has a 1-cost evolution, and whenever a ghost is put onto your field, you give it attack +1. So just being able to strengthen the power of your ghost tokens is very useful since they have Storm and can swing at your opponent's followers or at your opponent's leader all the more quickly as soon as you play that follower. So also being able to evolve this card into Masquerade Ghost Evolve helps with the added protection of what those ghosts can provide you at the end of your turn. We're also running 3 copies of Bacchus, Peppy Ghost, with a 1 cost to evolve. If there's a gargantuan ghost on your field, draw a card, and this card's name is also Ghost, which means it will benefit from the ability of your Masquerade Ghost being able to also give your Bacchus a +1 attack when you play it, since it's always counted as Ghost. Having an evolve form as well to help with that added setup, which we'll go over when we get to the evolve deck. Other followers include the 3 copies of Arcus Spirited Manager. This is one of the better early game cards with a cost of 2. This follower can't attack enemies, but it has a 5 attack, 5 defense, making it all the more of a wall on your field. And also at the start of your main phase, Necrocharge 10, summon a ghost token, which Necrocharge is how many cards you have in your cemetery. So if you have 10, you just get a ghost at the start of your main phase, and you're able to bury another follower. Choose one of the following, activate only once per turn. You can draw a card or summon 2 ghosts or bury the top 2 cards of your deck. So being able to make use of the ghosts you have on the field, since they're going to be destroyed at the end of the turn anyway, you can then use those ghosts to then give you more resources or more setup or even more ghost followers on the field to use. And we're also running 3 copies of Ghost Maid with a 1 cost to evolve. On Fanfare, it summons a ghost token, so just a good, turn 2 summon of a ghost token. Being able to evolve also then will give us the option with the evolve form of Ghost Maid to put a ghost token into your EX area. So then that just sets up more and more 1-cost ghosts for us to be able to call out as well. 3 copies of Mischievous Zombie, one of the last evolve cards we run, also in the deck. For a cost of 2, you can evolve this follower. On Fanfare, you discard a card, summon a ghost token. If you discard a departed card, draw a card. So not only does it help set up Necrocharge, it also just gives us more of an option for draw power to not, minus off of it if we discard a departed card, which the majority of the deck are departed cards. So we'll get a draw more than likely with our Mischievous Zombie, and also the ghost on the field to be able to attack with also. We're also running 3 copies of Trick Dullahan. With its Fanfare, you put a ghost token in your EX area, and Necrocharge 10, put 3 instead. So just by having the 10, this is one of the better late game cards, because then you have the higher cost to use with just a 2 of cost, and then putting 3 ghosts in your EX area for you to then be able to call out those followers as well, all the easier. And also 3 copies of Ghost Rider. Whenever a follower on your field evolves, summon 2 ghost tokens. So one of the better cards to have out, and then evolve your Masquerade Ghost, because then, or any of the other followers that we've mentioned that can also evolve, because then it just gives us 2 ghosts, and we're then able to rest our Ghost Rider to select a ghost on our field and give it Bane, which if we have some more tricky followers on our opponent's field, being able to just give a Ghost Bane to be able to then swing into them and then just destroy them right afterwards makes it so we can use our smaller followers all the easier against our opponent. And then the last follower that I run in the deck is the 3 copies of Spirit Curator. On Fanfare, you choose one, put a ghost token into your EX area, or if there's a follower with ghost in your EX area, you can look at the top 3 cards of your deck, reveal an Abysscraft card from among them, add to your hand, put the rest on the bottom of the deck in any order. So you can either set up more ghosts in your EX area, or if you already have some there from some of our other cards, just give you a search for some other Abysscraft cards you may need from your deck. For the spells we run, 3 copies of Sincere Soul. This is the card that sets up Sincere Masquerade Ghost with a cost of 4. You can banish this card from your cemetery if there is a Masquerade Ghost in your EX area. You may summon a Sincere Masquerade Ghost from your Evolve deck, which you set up the Masquerade Ghost in your EX area when you evolve it into Masquerade Ghost Evolve. With the initial cost of 4 with this spell to search your deck for a Masquerade Ghost, summon it and shuffle it and give it ward, which means this is basically just an additional playset of Masquerade Ghost, because then you're just playing one out from your deck, summoning it, having it have ward as well. Since it can't attack that turn, you can just have it be more of a defensive card against your opponent. We're also running 3 copies of Colossal Grudge. This card costs 3 less to play if there's a follower with Ghost in your EX area, which is once again very easy to perform in this deck. You select an enemy follower on the field, deal 4 damage to it and 2 damage to the leader. So just an immense damage card. Being able to, most of the time you just want to play it with a 1 of cost anyway. You'll have the Ghosts in your EX area, so then you'll be able to use this card for that 1 of cost, and also just for that added setup for those Ghosts also. And 3 copies of Phantom Howl, just a cost of 3 spell to summon 4 ghosts. It doesn't place them in the EX area, it just summons the 4 ghosts out. Extra resources as well, because then we can just use those 4 ghosts as an immediate damage to our opponent for 4 total each, if our opponent doesn't have a follower with ward. And then just, a good follow-up if you have to have another Phantom Howl to use the next turn. We're also running 3 copies of Necro Carnival. You choose one of the following. Necro Charge 10, you choose 2 instead. You select a follower that costs 2 play points or less in your cemetery, put it on the field, or summon 2 ghost tokens. So just more of a setup with these cards, being able to give you that follower onto your field, which we have plenty of 2 cost or less followers to then play out from the cemetery with this card. And also the 3 copies of Last Daylight. You select an enemy follower on the field, deal 3 damage, and give +1 to each follower that costs 1 or less on your field, which is a great combo card to use with Phantom Howl, because then you can use this to summon 4 ghosts, use Last Daylight to then potentially get rid of ward cards on your opponent's field, and then have all the 1 costless followers get +1, meaning it's a total of 8 damage with those ghosts we played out. And then lastly, for the deck, 3 copies of Soul Conversion. Lots of play sets in this deck just because they're all very, very good to run for the overall combo count. With quick, selecting a follower on your field, destroy it, and draw 2 cards. So it's just draw power on top of everything else for a cost of 1. Once we set up one of those ghosts, if they're going to, be banished at the end of the end phase anyway, just use it for that resource to then draw additional cards. For the Evolve deck, our go-to follower in the Evolve deck is Sincere Masquerade Ghost. I've honestly been debating running a second copy of this card. If you wanted to run 2, you can just drop one of the copies of the Masquerade Ghost Evolve that I'm running for a second copy of this card. It has Storm with a 5 attack, 5 defense. On Fanfare, summoning 2 Gargantuan Ghost tokens, which are the more defensive Gargantuan Ghosts on top of the original Ghost that we run also. And whenever another follower with Ghost in its name is put onto your field, give it +1 and Rush. So just having another Ghost, including our cards like our Bacchus, being able to then just immediately attack at our opponent, all the better, since Bacchus counts as Ghost for it. And on Last Words, you select a Masquerade Ghost in your EX area, put it onto your field engaged, just summoning back the entire card that started off the setup with this follower to then use again. And we're running the 3 copies of Masquerade Ghost Evolve. Once again, this could potentially be a 2-of count if you want to run a second copy of Sincere Masquerade Ghost. Whenever a ghost is put onto your field, give it +1 attack, and whenever a ghost leaves your field, summon a Gargantuan Ghost token. So once the original ghost leaves, you'll be able to then play out a Gargantuan Ghost, which has ward, and at the start of your main phase, you banish this card. So it's meant to be played as a defensive card against your opponent during their turn. The 2 copies of Bacchus Peppy Ghost. this card's evolved form. It's also traded as Ghost. And last words, you can put this card into the EX area. So it just places the original Bacchus, since the evolved card will go face up in your evolved deck. And then being able just to use a Bacchus again from your EX area. The rest of the evolved deck consists of the 2 copies of Mischievous Zombie. On evolve, you select a ghost on your field, give it Bane. So just more or less the Bane option, like our one spell that we ran. And then also the 2 copies of Ghost Maid. So we always have the evolution cards to be able to go into, with the on evolve for Ghost Maid, putting a ghost in your EX area, and then burying the top card of your deck to contribute to the Necrocharge ability also. But that is it for the deck profile. I hope you all enjoyed. I also hope you're all enjoying these different Shadowverse Evolve deck profiles. I've definitely been getting into the game more, so I wanted to share my love with you all for the game as much as I can as well. So very, very awesome. As always, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and Kira Qualia out.